25 minutes in the sunshine. I have a far more credible weather forecast now. 25 degrees it is, with a little cloud scattered around today.
I hate to be a pedant.
Go on.
But if you're telling us what the weather is, that's not really a forecast.
I can move on to the forecast.
Oh, okay. Please do.
I was a couple of degrees low on what it was doing today,
okay.
but I have more accuracy now because I'd been troubled by a couple of drops of rain on the slightly basic weather forecast that I was looking at, and I've gone on to a more in-depth weather forecast. No drops of rain and fair all day.
Today?
Tomorrow. That's my forecast.
Okay.
And that's important. That's qualifying day.
It is, exactly. And equally, it's important for the teams, because if you spent the equivalent of 50 minutes setting up the cars for the dry, then you have to qualify in the wet, it's been a bit of a wasted day. Although you would hope that race day or days are going to be dry either way. 25 minutes once again, green flag flies.
Out they go, and we were saying in the first session how much we like GT cars around, and that car that you just saw pulling out Key Law was so impressive and provided us so much of the entertainment in that first free practice session this morning. Probably that's a good forecast of what we can expect from that car over the course of this weekend.
Now their number 12 is Patricio Yu, who was in strife this morning, but he's at least on the track but going slowly. And Matt Carlock back out, number 4 Lotus Exige. That was another car that stopped by the side of the racetrack earlier on. James Tang there goes through, number 68. In his Mercedes AMG, and Chris Shear is already up the escape road down at Lisboa. So that is not a good start. Gets away, or will get away, once he's done a umpteen-point turn, but he's got the wipers on.
And don't you dare scratch it, because that is a beautiful car. Absolutely gorgeous livery.
So he will get going again, but to go up the escape road early on suggests that brakes when he's in the meantime, is really attacking this outlap.
You once again, you pointed it out in free practice 1. You can hear the tyres. We've got some great trackside mics this year that are bringing us. Oh, it's gone wrong. First one there over the course of this weekend for the 68 car of James Tang, and got away with it.
Attacking. Well, there's the evidence of it.
That's the proof.
He's damaged the front left corner. He's knocked the wipers on in all of that as well in his fluster, but into the Melco hairpin he will come. It wouldn't be a bad idea if James Tang didn't abandon this lap and just come 100% okay.
That's the first one we've seen, isn't it? And it catches you out. The right-hander at Police move goes straight away into the right-hander at Moorish, and over the course of a weekend we can see quite a few having a more significant moment there.
Absolutely right. So he's got away with it. The Lotuses are getting themselves so there's a bit of a bottleneck coming up here. There's number 3 Mercedes AMG of Liu Car, the Elegant Racing Team Mercedes. Got some good team names in this neck of the woods as well.
There are. There are
some
superb names. When we get to one of the touring car categories, I'll pick out my favourite team name ever, by any team ever.
Right. Okay.
It would never be bettered.
Hold that thought. We'll get there. Times will be offered up at the end of this next lap, because that'll be a proper flying lap. Number 23, the McLaren of Wang Changtou, tries to get through the traffic. BMW in the background getting out of the way. There's a good mix of car in this. Porsche, Lamborghini, Mercedes, AMG, Lotus, Audi, Ginetta, BMW.
Trouble is they're all together.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yes, yes.
Look at it, one long train.
And there's a KTM in there as well. And the Crossbow, the MP Racing run car, MP Racing that we know from single-seaters. There it is, the turquoise top car going out of the hairpin.
7-car train, that is. So they need to give themselves a bit of air to make this meaningful. That was the MGM Mercedes as well, wasn't it? Having got back on the circuit.
Right, so 23, Hugo Wong gets through the traffic, gets on with the job now. Tries to pick up ground. Again, a clear track space, hang on to it. Number 3, Mercedes AMG. That's the Liu car elegant racing team entry up towards the timing line. And that again has found itself some clear track space now on the tactical.
So yeah, that all important as well. The circuit opens up, of course, here. Very fast part of the circuit on the run down ultimately towards Lisboa, the overtaking opportunity. Another one having to do the necessary 3-point turn. Lau Kim Ho in the RPM racing team, Ginetta.
And through has just gone there, Chris Shear, who was up the escape road on his outlap. So he's got going again. But now into a yellow flag zone. No overtaking, no overtaking.
No.
Got the message, good, right.
Had everything crossed there.
Yes, yes. Well, Chris Shear eventually realised what was going on.
Yeah.
But I suppose suddenly you see cars slow, you think, oh, I can get past them.
Yeah,
this is instantly think, why are they slow?
Great opportunity.
Yeah.
Particularly as how it had gone wrong there at that corner on the previous lap.
And now Chris Shear almost pushing along there, the similar Mercedes Violet car.
You can squeeze through.
Yeah.
You can squeeze through.
So Chris Shear, man on a mission. He was quick last year, didn't sort of deliver the results, but was always there or thereabouts across the weekend. But right now, he's taking that car by the scruff of the neck. Number 79 then, that's the one that was quickest this morning of Law Kai Lau. And that car is, again, the fastest. Law Kai Lau, 2:37.445.
Yeah, so purple, top of the times, 79. Impressive in the first session of the day. And we have 18.5 minutes of this 25-minute session. Saw those couple of bumps, didn't we, on the opening couple of laps, which does suggest they're just that little bit more from this morning.
And there is James Tang, who, again, looks like he's on the edge all the time here. That's a nervous-looking Mercedes, but spectacular driver.
I say exciting to watch, though. Yeah, really exciting.
Constantly in fear, though, that he's going to overstep the mark completely. He's kept the wipers on, having knocked the wipers on earlier. He's so concentrating on everything else that's going on, he hasn't got round to turning them off yet.
He's been looking at my weather forecast, unfortunately.
That'll be it.
That'll be it.
Yeah.
Just in case, we'll leave them on intermittent.
He's done 2 personal bests in the sectors as well. And James Tang then looking rapid as he comes up towards Donna Maria.
The car moves up at multiple places, goes 12th in car number 3.
Just where you don't want a slow car, guess what James Tang finds? And it's going to be the Patricia OU Lotus, I reckon.
We really are hearing the tyres work, aren't we? Top of the times then. Law Kai Law, 2:37.445. Bumps the 68 car. James Tang, 2:33.295. 2:33.925 now for Law Kai Law.
James Tang is about to boom past the pits then, and let's see whether we can get him into the 2:30s. It was a 2 minutes 40 that he did last time around, so still in the 2 minute 40s, I'm afraid to say. 6.7 seconds back. Green flag shows there on the exit of Mandarin, so somebody's presumably had a moment coming out of reservoir.
Gloriously wide part of the circuit, isn't it, on the run down towards Lisboa out of Mandarin. Incredibly quick section of the circuit. San Francisco Hill. And now from a gloriously wide part of the circuit to an quite a narrow part of the circuit.
So there's the fastest car in the session. Still a 2:33.9, the best for Law Kai Law. And there's the reason for the yellow flag. The KTM was ground to a halt, I'm afraid to say. So Yang Weng Hong going no further. And that looks mechanical, doesn't it? it a bit low on the left front.
Oh, that might be a good spot. I didn't see. I think we'll probably see the car again, won't we?
Well, it might be that if it doesn't move, the session ends up being interrupted. So they got through the first one without strife, but it might not last. And there is the number 79 Mercedes with the road to itself as he comes from Police up to Moorish and then into Donna Maria right now. So 10 minutes of the session have elapsed. Where was the KTM before its demise? 23rd is the answer.
Number 33, Chris Chart, has just gone second. You said he was pushing on, looking very purposeful. Number 33 leaps up the order, goes second.
Indeed so, and 5.7 seconds back, so the margin decreasing a little bit to this man, Lokai Law, as he comes down now towards Fisherman's into the right-hander. Traffic up the road, so have to factor that in on this next lap as he comes now down towards the right at R Bend.
I missed that as well. Lake It Meng has gone third. Macau driver, no, he's gone fourth because number 60, this is really pushing on, isn't it? James goes second.
And I think we're about to go red, aren't we? Because a red light has appeared on our timing screen and there's the red flag.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right. So James Tang back up to second, but 14 minutes on the clock and out comes the red flag. And this presumably is to try to retrieve that stricken car that we'd seen, the KTM.
Yeah, it's such a striking looking car, isn't it? Wonderful thing about GT cars and GT racing, they don't all look the same.
Exactly.
By no means. They all have individual qualities, don't they? I understand why you go all around the world watching them now.
Different shapes, different sizes, different sounds, but also different configuration. You know, you've got big, normally aspirated engines, you've got twin turbos, you've got differing size. Yeah, there's just so much more that you can play with under the GT3 regulations. And GT4, which we're looking at here, again, has become massively popular. You know, there's a hugely successful European championship. There is the French champ GT4 regs and gets 40, almost 50 car grids. And next year, end of October, the plan is that the Vallelunga 6 Hours, which has sort of lost its identity in recent years, will be a 6-hour endurance GT4 only race, or the headline class, let's say, will be GT4, which finally gives them a
the trick is in getting the regulations right. That is something they absolutely did.
Yeah, but it's also getting a manufacturer to build cars.
Yes.
Manufacturers want to sell cars.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what Porsche, Mercedes, BMW, McLaren, Ginetta, KTM are doing. They're building a car, teams are buying them and running them, and that's their core business.
Yeah.
But what teams don't want to have to do is go out and build a race car and prepare it. They can run it, but you know, these are off-the-shelf turnkey racers. These are USB sticks. You buy one of these, you plug it in, and it works.
Stock cars. Yep.
Yeah. So almost the plug-and-play GT race style. So yeah, when GT4 started, they were homologated by tuners, and then the manufacturers became more involved. And
that's a sight you rarely see. The lorry's going to win.
Show the red flag to the lorry. Slow it down.
It did slow down. Yeah.
Well, hit it.
Obeying the rules.
Exactly.
Quite right too.
Yes.
So,
Stewards Bulletin 9, will the driver of the lorry please come to race confirm? Red flag. And again, free practice. This will nibble into the time that we have available. But big frustration yet again for the drivers. But they all seem to take it in their stride. They sort of shrug and say, well, it is Macau. You know, we know these things can happen.
It's part of it as they thread their way down pit lane. BMWs we haven't spoken too much about during these sessions.
It's a scary livery on the front of the Porsche of Jiang Rushi.
It is.
Chris Shear down the pit road, and there the Ginetta of Kenny Chung arrives. Kong driver. Neolithic cars, orange Mercedes AMG, and just behind him, Macau Lock. And still, they come to the pit lane.
They do. It's a good entry for the Melco Greater Bay Area GT Cup, and therefore it takes a while for them all to thread their way into pit lane to complete the slowing down lap on a red flag. So there's no real indication at this point how easy that car is going to be to recover. There's seemingly no damage to circuit furniture or to the car, so it might be this session could resume.
I'm not sure whether it was low on the left front because of damage or the undulation of the circuit.
Right, yeah,
but
yeah.
Either way, it did look as though it was closer to the ground on the left than the right.
We haven't seen it again, have we?
Oh.
So possibly we might. Things fall quiet at Macau, and we get a chance to have a closer look at some of these quite glorious liveries. That's a car we've been talking about quite a bit during these sessions today. Chris Char in the Phantom Pro Racing Mercedes AMG, carrying the livery of MGM, the MGM Hotel, one of the really impressive features of Macau. Incredible hotel. There are so many incredible features. I think you and I took a walk around, didn't we? And that was one of the first places we went.
Yeah, very memorable indeed for a first timer. So right now, the team's set to work. There's not a lot else they can do, I suppose, other than download some data or take the tyre pressures. But they need to be on their toes to dispatch the cars down the pit lane for when the session goes live again.
Because if and when it does, it's not going to be that long, is it? The best we can hope for is maybe 2 or 3 laps.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, the majority of GT4 championships run on a Pirelli tyre. It's Michelin's this week, so the team's adapting to those, and the car may have a different feel as well compared to the Pirelli tyre that many of them will run on in the past.
And you talking about this, an opportunity to get data, that tyre data is an important part of this. It's one of the features that free practice is all about.
In only 25 minutes, there's not much you can do, because
No.
if you're doing much, you're wasting time at a track. So this, in a sense, does give the teams an opportunity to work, because you're not losing out against anybody else. You're losing time against the clock, but so is everybody else. Come on, baby, it says on James Tang's Mercedes. Again, he's really hustled that car in the course of the session, hasn't he?
And currently second. However, 4.7 seconds the deficit to number 79, Lokai Law, who has been so impressive today in the Toro Racing Mercedes AMG.
And a hat tip to Toro Racing, because they're running 4 different cars across GT3, GT4, 4 different brands. Or Porsche and Mercedes and BMW, but Mercedes in different GT3, GT4 specs. So having to adapt to all of those nuances. Quick look at the timing data before they go back out. Many years ago, there'd be clipboards and bits of paper, but not anymore.
Just thinking, yeah, it would be exactly that, little post-it notes.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, you'll also, perhaps, if we get a chance to look in some of the cars, see a track map stuck to the steering wheel. And it's not because drivers don't know where they're going, but it's so that if they get a radio message about a yellow flag at turn 2, or at some venues, track limits at turn 9, they can look at that quickly and know exactly what the corner is.
Work out where it is.
Yeah. Yep. Right, session will start on short notice as Like It Mang is ready to go.
So they will get a resumed session, which is good news. As we've said before, it's remarkable how quickly cars can be recovered from the Macau circuit. There's a predominance of that colour this year, isn't there? Which is an unusual colour. And I'll find the right name to describe it.
Is it magenta?
I think it is. It's a dark magenta, isn't it? A deep magenta. Yeah. It's gorgeous.
It is. It works really nicely.
It does.
On the Mercedes. So the race director keen to dispatch the cars as soon as he can, but the KTM still needs to be brought back, or at least taken to a safer place. And then we can get back up and running. Session will be resumed at 13:50, and that means that we are just seconds away, I think.
We are, and I think that's it. That's the word for the cars to get ready, get back out on the circuit.
With only 5 minutes to go.
Yeah, so they will get a couple of laps.
If you're lucky, you'll get 2, just.
Yeah. You have to be speedy to leave pit lane, and they are. The only problem about this resumption is they're all going to be together.
Yeah, depending on your point of view, you might think it's not worth it for 1 lap. It's fine at the back of the queue, that's all I'm likely to get.
Or you could think, I get the chance to drive one of these machines around Macau, and I'm jolly well going to drive it.
Take the opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every lap is a lap learned. But I can't see the order changing much, I've got to say.
No. A 2:33.925, the quickest time for car number 79.
And already a yellow flag is out at Marshall's post 3.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Which is at Mandarin.
Okay. And another one into the tyres.
Which is Lau Kim Ho in the RPM Racing Janetta. That's not in a good place.
No, it's not. But down comes the crane, look. The ropes arrive.
On the move already.
Yeah. And then the marshals need a gap in the traffic before they can really rush out and attend to the car. So there's the 4th placed Like It Meng Janetta. The driver's being told, or the team's being told, and they can then tell their drivers about this stationary car. Double wave yellow to try and cover the marshals as they attend to craning the car out of harm's way.
With under 3 minutes of the session remaining.
Because if you red flag it now, you're never going to restart it. So they want to try and keep it going if they can.
Yeah. And bear in mind, there's still...
Red flag.
Oh. So, no breaks in the session first thing this morning. 2 breaks in this session, and that I fancy is going to be it.
Yeah.
So, red flag at the moment is being indicated. I'm pretty sure that's going to turn into a checkered flag. And you did say your prediction that the times were not going to be bettered. I think that's a certainty now. And a very impressive number 79, Law Kai Law, brings the 79 car into pit lane, and the rest of the field will follow in.
Confirmation the session will not be resumed. So that for the GT4 cars for today is it. It's a wrap. They will not be back out onto the circuit. So the Melco Greater Bay Area GT Cup, while the cars were in the pits, the session would come to an end anyway. Going to have any extension to the time. And that, therefore, for the teams is day 1 complete. But it's been a day of days, hasn't it, for Law Kai Law. Fastest in both sessions, although relatively few laps offered up in FP2.
Not only that, it looked really good as well. Very impressive.
Yeah, everything it should be, really. Quick and controlled.
4.7 second advantage at the end of free practice 2. Qualifying, they go into tomorrow. 2 sessions for the Melco Greater Bay Area GT Cup, and we'll have a look back at the highlights.
Well, that was Chris Shah, wasn't it, getting it wrong into the wall. He got away with that, but it's another Mercedes that was being driven hard, third fastest in the end, Chris Scher.
Well, you were saying throughout that he was pushing on, and graphic representation of just how much he was pushing on. This is a circuit that you do have to attack. It's just the limits are so tiny. The difference between a great lap and a big mistake.
Hero and zero.
Yeah.
So, cars make their way down the pit lane, and at the end of that session, Law Kai Law the fastest from James Tang and then Chris Scher. It is Lai Kit Meng fourth ahead of Chen Sheng, and then sixth fastest. Come the end of the session, it was Leung Jie Tong. So a margin of 4.7 seconds between the top two is a massive one, and Loi Kai Lau very much the man to beat going into qualifying tomorrow. But one or two hard luck stories from the second free practice session, but the teams will sleep on it and bounce back tomorrow to try to stop Law Kai Law in his tracks. Fastest again in free practice 2 for the Melco Greater Bay Area GT Cup.